So what's on the agenda today, Miss Queen Bee?
We got a whole lot to talk about a little bit. Well, we got a little bit to talk about. We got a whole lot to talk about. Let's see. Let's go check this docket real
I
quick.
have a question.
What's that, baby?
Who thinks Betty is going to no show? Who thinks she's going to leave later this afternoon?
It takes 10 hours to drive from her house to the courthouse.
And who thinks she's like trying to play her audience, because I did notice that she had a couple lives scheduled and stuff, like trying to play them like, oh, nothing to see over here, nothing going on.
I don't know. Maybe we need a poll. She hasn't left yet. I just got up. I have no idea what's going on.
No, she has not. She did a live earlier, and she was obviously at home in her office because she had that chair. And then when I was scrolling through the YouTube streets, I noticed she had another one. But so I'm just curious what everyone else thinks. No,
Well,
it's not already there because, like I said, whoa, almost dropped my phone. She did a live earlier today, and she was obviously in her office because she had that pink chair. You could see it.
well, if she's still at home, then she's probably not going to make it. Wonder what she's going to do.
Well, I mean, she still could because, I mean, if she just say she left now, 12 hours would be 12:15 or 11:15 this evening. So, I mean, like, technically, she still has time to get there driving.
I guess that's true. She's probably trying to get her audience to give her some dough before she leaves.
Yeah, and I also do think, too, the possibility of a one-way ticket might be a possibility. Also, thinking, I know my ass is going to jail. I don't want to leave my car there and have someone else mess with my car. And I know that I'm not driving back home, anytime soon. My
Yep.
opinion.
Yeah, that could be too. Or yeah, maybe trying to maybe she has a flight. That's what I'd do. I wouldn't take my car and leave it.
Vanessa, she's not already there. She did a live this morning. I mean, it could be pre-recorded. I don't know. But no, I mean, unless you know for a fact she's there, I don't know. Well, she can think that she can do Zoom, but she can't.
Oh my gosh, I'd hate to be that judge. Having to deal with her in any kind of legal setting would make my brain explode. I can't imagine what Queen's been going through and anybody else that's having to deal with it in that capacity. Way too stressful for me. I know that much.
No, her court date is tomorrow. I believe it's 9 or 9:30 in the morning, but it's tomorrow, not today.
Yeah, I don't think there's any possibility that she could think she can't go because the judge told her last time, right? You have to be at everything from here on out. No more. No more
Yes,
Zoom.
from my understanding, the judge told her no more Zooms. You will have to appear in person. Um, um,
Well, it
yeah, her
shows on the
next live
docket that
may be
she's supposed to be
pre-recorded.
there, but that doesn't mean that she's got to be there, just so y'all know. Here's the docket. Here's her shit on it right here. Violation of an order of protection. Here's the hearings here. It says right here, criminal hearing 3/19/2025, 9 a.m. Defendant motion hearing 3/19/2025 at 9 a.m. Now, these are all continuance. These have all been continuance, and they've all been granted. So she's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 continuances.
Yikes. Yeah,
I don't think that's 9 continuances because like each of those
It's
there's
one
2
thing, so it might
cases.
be like 4. But yeah, it shows
Yeah.
9 on there. Like you count 9 of them, but it's probably 4 with the
Yeah, there's a motion
2.
hearing and then there's a like a
Right.
hearing. So like
It's
there's
like 2 on each one. Yeah.
yes.
You could go look yourself here. You have it here. Excuse me. Sorry. Had to yawn real quick. So, anyways, you can go look yourself. For whoever doesn't believe me here, I'll show you exactly how to do this. All right, go to SumnerCounty.com, SumnerCountyCourts.com. You'll come up to this page right here. Once you go there and you go to this page, you go up here to search cases, and it'll pop this up. Scroll down here to Sumner County. Click on that. It'll bring you to this page right here.
Monday. Oh my goodness. That weekend went by way too fast. Betty loves this intro. I'm sure she does. I'm sure all the people in the intro are just like, I'm so excited. Can't wait for Wednesday. Neither can I. I just looked at the docket for Betty's criminal stuff in Sumner County, Tennessee. It is still saying March 19th. I just updated it or like refreshed it. There is a separate hearing, which is April 2nd, and that is for her attempts to appeal. Like the 3 that she's trying to appeal, she waited too long, is what I'm being told. There's like a time limit, and of course she didn't meet the deadline. She was like way late, so I doubt that's going to go anywhere. But March 19th for her, all of her criminal stuff is still on the docket as of like 5 minutes ago. So I don't know if it just hasn't been updated or whatever, but as far as I know, she's still got to be there, and she has to be there in person. Thank you, ShamWow. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that she lives about 12 plus-ish hours away from the courthouse. So she would have had to have left today in order to get there, to get settled in her hotel, to be ready for court first thing in the morning. So I don't know if she left after her morning live stream or if she's just planning on being a no-show. I'm really not sure. Not sure at all. Thank you, Punk Drunk Marty. Remember 38 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate being here. So what will that entail? Well, she's got a criminal hearing and a criminal a motion hearing and a criminal hearing. So she'll go in front of the judge, and the judge will look at her the 4 protective orders that are currently on her. She's currently out on a $20,000 bond, and the judge will look at the 6 violations, and those violations are contempt. In other words, she deliberately disobeyed judge's order. So she's going to have to face the same judge that she basically flipped off and violated 6 times. Fun times for her. And as far as I know, she's going in there without an attorney because she had a GoFundMe, collected all that money. I think she's collected $4,000 or $5,000. She had an attorney for like 1 or 2 hearings, I think. I think it was 1 hearing. And then she quickly fired him and said that she can't trust any lawyers in Tennessee because they're all out against her. And then, as far as I know, according to the docket, there is no one signing in as her representative. So this should be interesting. Can a warrant be ordered if she doesn't show up in person? Great question. In this case, it's warrantless, so they could just come pick her up. They don't have to actually serve her with the warrant or get a warrant because she's already out on bond. She's technically a ward of the state. So if she does anything to revoke her bonds, which would be violating again, not showing up for court, getting arrested and breaking the law, other things, right? If she does anything to revoke her bond, they can just come and arrest her and they don't even need a warrant for it. She'll just go right back to jail. Do you think because she fired her attorney and has done, the judge will give her time to get one? She's already done that. So she's already had continuance after continuance after continuance. Let me go back and look at it real quick. So she has, I mean, wow. So she's got 4 or 5 different continuances. So at a certain point, and I'm not a judge, I'm not an attorney, okay? Don't ever claim to be, just a regular person. However, it's just common sense with the criminal stuff, right? At a certain point, the judge is going to be like, okay, enough. We've given you X amount of months to find an attorney. She was offered a public defender. She, turned that down, hired her own attorney, then fired that attorney, and then still raised money. Where that money is going to, I don't know, because she doesn't have an attorney. So I don't know. Like, it's just, yeah. So it's not tomorrow, but Wednesday. So the 19th is when she's supposed to be there. You're right. Thank you, JD. Thank you for that correction. You're right. So technically she could leave tomorrow and get there Wednesday first thing. So.
Yeah, I'm going tomorrow. Yeah, I'll go live after we leave the courthouse. No, I'm dead serious. I don't know if she's coming or not. I really don't. Maybe. I think if she doesn't want to go to jail, she should probably show up. But I also don't know if they have maybe worked out something to where she doesn't I don't know.
Oh my God.
I'll find out tomorrow. Because apparently we're going. Canvas and Crime, thank you for the super chat. Missed y'all. And yes, please share pictures of what? I just showed my shirt. I got you. Okay, I will do that. We will find out tomorrow. It's at 9:00 Central, obviously. I will say this. I do think it would be appropriate, okay, for her to have a continuance at least until the appeal is heard. I'm not going to lie. I think that would be a fair way to go, right? Because if you sentence her, right, and then the appeal comes through and the higher court reverses that order, then she sat in jail for nothing. Does that make sense? So I think it would be appropriate for them to just say, hey, we'll put this off until you go to court for the appeal. I think that's fair, but that's just me. Yeah, you probably read that in Queens. So from what I was told, she is no longer allowed to be on the internet and Zoom meetings for her court cases. She was told that from now on, she has to show up in person. And I agree with this, Cheryl. I think it's a little insane if they are letting her do all of them, because for one, you didn't show up in the first place when they served you. If you don't show up, then that's kind of like telling the judge, I don't care if you give me an RO or not. So to bitch about it later is kind of some bullshit, in my opinion. Like, if you don't want no RO and your ass is scheduled to be here the next day, leave a day early. You ain't got no children. You ain't got no man. You ain't got no job. Show the fuck up. But that's just me. She did file them too late. However, if you look at the appeal or look at her court cases, all 3 of them are on there. Like, she's trying to appeal all of them. And I will say this, just because the one judge said she can't appeal them, or he has spoken it's final, it doesn't mean that a higher judge won't be like, okay, this is against your First Amendment rights, or we didn't serve you correctly, right? It doesn't mean that that won't happen. So I have to go with, there's a chance she could get an appeal on all of them, which is good, because I love it when she says,
I'm a victim! I'm a victim!
I finally got my soundboard working again. Yeah, I personally think she is. Christine, I don't know.
Your affiant received information from Katie Proudfoot that the defendant was live streaming again on her YouTube channel. So we have proof that Katie Proudfoot is choosing to initiate contact with this person she got a restraining order against by watching her YouTube videos obsessively. She's monitoring this person online. Is she allowed to do that when she has said she wants no contact with her? Is she allowed? Can Katie Proudfoot then seek contact with the person she got a restraining order against? Wow. The live stream, which showed the defendant driving while videotaping her feed. Again, that's not illegal. Her restraining order did not say she was not allowed to live stream and drive at the same time. During this, although I would suggest against it because I think it's dangerous to live stream and drive. During this live stream, the defendant again threatened to sue the Proudfoots and the FootSox. Again, that's not a threat of violence. That is not. The live stream, titled "The Garbage of YouTube," had hashtag Chris Proudfoot, hashtag Katie Proudfoot, and their minor son, hashtag Sebastian Rogers, listed on it. But again, the order said she wasn't to contact them. It didn't say she couldn't type their names in a hashtag or talk to her audience about it, and especially about this legal action that she's being put through. Based on these facts and statements, just the ones we just read, nothing else, because some of you in the chat are saying, oh, that's not why she was arrested. She was arrested because she showed up at a vigil. Well, that vigil was put on by Seth Rogers, Sebastian's dad, who invited Betty to it, and the other people who were in the restraining order, they weren't there. So it couldn't have been that. It could not have been that. It says, based on these facts and statements, your affiant believes the defendant has violated the conditions of the 3 separate protection orders twice this date. How? The protection orders that we just read did not say she was not allowed to use their names. She was not allowed to live stream. She was not allowed to drive in live stream, that she wasn't allowed to talk about this case. It didn't say that anywhere. It said she wasn't allowed to contact them directly or indirectly. But she didn't contact them. She's not talking to them. She was talking to her detractors online and to her audience. So I want to know, I don't know how this stands up. This is garbage. Therefore, your affiant is charging the defendant with 6 counts of violation of an order of protection. These offenses did occur in Sumner County, Tennessee. No, they didn't. I think she was in Florida.
CEO. Do we know who filed it yet? No, I don't have an idea who filed it because I haven't been served. And so if as soon as I'm served, I will know exactly who did it. But I have a funny feeling they're not going to be able to serve me before the 8th. Like, they're idiots. They tried to do this in an effort to try to stop, like to literally violate my civil rights. Can you imagine what I'm about to do when I find out who this person is? Like, this is this is beyond just a perjury charge. This is literally a civil rights issue. And And they're trying to prevent me from being able to go forward with the gathering of voices. Period. End of subject. And they just keep going and going and going, and it's just not going to work because they're evil people. God protects godly people in mysterious ways. It's funny how it works out. Someone see, oh no, somebody actually lied under oath to try to get some type of emergency protective order and trying to force me to come into court in Tennessee on the 8th, but they have to serve me. And I haven't been served, so I can tell you that the nearest possibility of them service is definitely after the 8th. That's what I can tell you. But they did it. It was done literally on July 26th. So that was literally Sebastian's 5 months being missing. How disrespectful and disgraceful that is. They lied. They had to have lied under oath because the only way that they would have been able to give a temporary restraining order is if they physically felt that they were in threat of immediately, like me unaliving them. So they definitely lied under oath. So it doesn't really matter. We deal with this from they're felons. All these people that are in this, they're criminals. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about breaking the law. They don't care for the law. We are a law and order channel. We don't break the law. We definitely don't threaten people, and definitely don't threaten them with their life. You know. So these people don't care about following the law. As you can clearly see, they break the law every chance they get. Do you remember how many, for 3 years, they kept saying, Bullhorn Betty's breaking the law. Bullhorn Betty's breaking the law. No, you guys have been breaking the law. And that's what I've been saying for a really long time. And now you guys just keep showing your hand a little bit more and a little bit more, showing the whole entire world what kind of criminals you are and what you guys are willing to do to break the law. You guys have it's disgusting. But either way, it doesn't really matter. It hasn't prevented me, nor will it prevent me from doing a damn thing. So once I find out who it is, they're done. Like done, son. Put a fork in it, done. They will be hit with a civil suit. And it doesn't really matter because this is a close place for me to come. You know? It's a lot different going 1,000 miles away. But if they think I'm going to keep playing this, I'll sue every last person. Keep messing with me. You guys will all have to deal with it. You know, you can't sit here and prevent somebody from doing something illegally. You know, there are processes to make sure that you're doing stuff lawfully. That's the whole purpose of the court hearing. You can't go in there and say, oh my God, it doesn't work like that. Judges don't go over whether you cry in front of them. You have to have a legitimate purpose and you have to be in fear for your personal safety. I have not jeopardized anybody's personal safety, nor will I. So that is the only way you can get that temporary restraining order. And not only that, but when they filed it, I wasn't even in Tennessee. I was literally sitting at my home in Florida. I can literally document every single thing that I did that day because I was online literally all day working. And as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I was doing arguing back and forth with somebody's attorney all day. So, I mean, either way you look at it, they lied through their teeth. And when I find out who they are, they're going to have a heavy cost to pay. Never mind the criminal aspect of it because they broke the freaking law. Do you think courts are jungle gym?
So that is really strange. Now, the second video, the one where and it has a lot of, and you can go see it on her page. It's called, what's it called again? The Garbage of YouTube. Just really wanted to read all the court documents. And if you want to go watch it though, feel free to go to Bullhorn Betty's YouTube channel, look up The Garbage of YouTube. It's right there. And you can see if you think there's any violations. There's certainly, I watched it. There are no threats of violence, none. There's some talk of possibly suing a couple of people involved in the people who took out the orders of protection because Betty says they're false. And from what I can see so far, I haven't been able to prove them true. I have no evidence that what they said about her is true. And what this officer
lies, just lied. Everything was a lie.
Is basing her arrest and charging her with 6 counts of violating a restraining order is based on these 2 live streams in which she did no such thing. She did not contact anyone involved. If if they had wanted to restrain her from typing in hashtags with their names, they should have put it in the order of protection. But I can guarantee you the reason they didn't is because it would be a major violation of her right of free speech.
Everybody knows what the issue is. The issue was never about, they're not really scared. They're not scared about Bullhorn Betty coming up there and harming them. You know. So thank you so much. Tugs on Heartstrings. CP and KP does not have kids together. Can be BHB help Seth by talking about Sebastian? No, I think that it's them and any of their minor children. So so that would be Sebastian included in that. But he really wouldn't spell it out if she can make the videos or not. He left it murky on purpose. That lawyer, that was maybe the most disappointing part today.
You cannot restrain someone from, especially a member of the media, from talking about a public case. That would be a gag order. Oh, and by the way, I think I missed that. Let me go back to, because one of them did ask for a gag order. Hold on. One of the people, and I believe it may have been stepdad, Chris. I believe that but it wasn't granted. All right, let's go back over there. It wasn't granted though. At least it wasn't written in the orders that I saw and that I went over. He asks further down here. Here it is. This is shocking. Look at this. Other orders, general relief. Request to gag order. Respondent from talking. Oh my God. We want to restrain this woman from talking. We want to stop her from talking. What? That's not a thing. This is America, folks. Suggesting me any other. Wait, what does that say? Suggesting, or any other ways about son's missing case. He wants her to stop talking about his son's missing case and be ordered not to have any form of third parties contact me or my daughter. Now, this part was not granted because it wasn't written in the other orders. There was nothing in the final order that said she had to stop talking about the case, or that she couldn't mention his name, or that she couldn't. There's nothing in the final order that says that. He asked for it. See, twin thing, you keep saying she isn't media. She's a bully with a cell phone. I'm sorry, but this is America. And under our laws, she technically is media. She has a bullhorn, yeah. So what? So does Aiden Carney. A lot of people want to say he's not a journalist, but the guy wrote over 300 articles about the Karen Reed case. A person who writes 300 articles about anything is a journalist. Bullhorn Betty has hundreds and hundreds of videos where she's traveling to places and creating media and content about these true crime stories from the very locations, just like Nancy Grace does. Now, I don't particularly like Nancy Grace. That doesn't make her not a journalist. It just makes her a journalist I don't like. And so Bullhorn Betty is a journalist you don't like. She's a media person you don't like. And that's okay. You don't have to like her. But she doesn't get less rights because you don't like her. She gets the same rights that any media gets. Would I stand out somebody's house that I thought was a murderer and scream it in a bullhorn? No. But is it allowed under our Constitution? Yes. And you don't have to like that. I don't have to like that. But I do have to defend it. Because the day that they decide that Bullhorn Betty can't use a bullhorn to scream at somebody and call them a liar, that's when the rest of us can suddenly not be able to call anybody a liar. Like, what if it's a Supreme Court justice that you want to call a liar?